So, Bards, they say there is a fine line between pleasure and pain.
There is indeed, Grant. And where are you going with this?
Well, when we get into the game review, I think you'll know.
All right, we'll wait and see then.
I've been waiting a long time for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all.
Scores from last week, round 23.
We had a Hawthorn 14-11-95 to West Coast 10-10-70.
And the goal kickers, Bards.
Goal kickers, we had Franklin with 4 all in the first quarter, as we know. Gunstor with 3 before being subbed off with a slight knock, and then singles to Hale, Puopolo, Bruce, Rioli, Hodge and Burgoyne.
It was a rather short list this week, Bards, wasn't it?
It was a shorter list than what it has been, and that probably reflects the fact that we did not break the 100-point mark for the first time in a long time, I think.
It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were pretty flat after quarter time, I thought, but they did what they had to do.
It's disappointing all round, really.
Yes, it wasn't the most exciting match once. It was about 3 degrees. I think we were all freezing, and they didn't give us enough time to jump up and clap and try to keep warm. But, look, mate, I think the players knew what the situation was. We had to win the game. They set up the game in the first quarter and just put it into our cruise control for the rest. They're also trying to protect my predicted margin of 4 goals.
I thought 17 points was close.
Just by a point, but, you know, when you're picking goals, it's a bit hard.
So, who are your top 5?
Top 5, mate, I've got 5 votes for Grant Birchall. I thought he was back in top form again. 4 to Mitchell, another good game. I like seeing Mitch have good games against good sides. There's always been a little bit of a knock on him that he doesn't handle the tag well, but he played very well. 3 to Franklin, even though he pretty much played a quarter. He set the game up and won it for us in the first quarter, and then he was good after that. He just didn't seem to get opportunities to score, but his work rate was great. 2 to Sewell, another good game from him in the middle, and 1 to Rufford. I thought he did a real good job having an influence himself and curbing the influence of Cox and Natanui.
So, Bards, you stuffed that up and give him Ruffy a vote at the end.
Why is that?
Why is that, Bards? Well, you had Birchall with 2 L's, Mitchell with 2 L's, Franklin has an L in it, Sewell has 2 L's, and Ruffy. The only thing I can get with that is he's got 2 H's.
Sorry to disappoint you. Have we got another player on the list with 2 L's? Gunstor.
No, but that's how unattractive this game is. I'm looking for, other things than any highlights.
I should have given a vote to Gunstor.
All right, well, we'll tally those up at the end of the season and see where we go with that. Now, let's start with the blast.
Yes, mate. As we all know, I've been relatively blast-free since we've been on a winning streak. What I witnessed on Friday night, in the form of 3 blokes running around in their green shirts and their little grey shorts, was probably some of the worst umpiring I've seen in a long, long time. Mr. Matthew Nichols, Matt Stevick and Shane McInerney. Disgraceful. You'd think that we were playing the game Matt Subiaco, it was that bad. Here's a tip for you. The player's running into an open goal, and the ball's been kicked over his head, and he's in front of his opponent, and the opponent's grabbing his jumper and pulling him back. That's a free kick. You're not allowed to do that. You do that in soccer, probably a red card because there's no one in front of him running into the open goal. Last man rule. So, disgraceful. Number 2, if your opponent's lying on the ground and you're running past him to pick up the loose ball in the forward pocket, and he reaches up and grabs hold of your shorts, it's a free kick. We got a goal out of that one anyway, but it's a free kick. And then they get 2 blokes decide to both blow their whistles at exactly the same time, and they pay 2 free kicks, 1 each way. So what's a logical thing to do there? I'd say, well, hang on, we'll just bowl it up and call it even. No, we'll work this out and we'll pay the free kick to the forward who's going to have a shot at goal. And even Jeff Geishan, who doesn't normally have a clue, even he said in the end that was the right decision, but the free kick wasn't there anyway. So what are they kidding themselves? And then, to be honest with you, I reckon the West Coast supporters wouldn't have been much happier because there's a couple of times we got free kicks and I said, what the hell was that for? It's up the other 5, but ridiculous. These blokes are supposed to be auditioning for a spot in the finals and they put on that effort. It obviously was good enough though because Matthew Nichols has got us again this week. Unbelievable. No. Fire that cannon.
Bards, I'm glad you stopped there. I mean, I know you could have just gone on with example after example after example. We only have 20 minutes to work with on this show.
Sorry, I just had to get my point across, Grant.
We could have had a 20-minute blast.
Could have a separate video this week.
I think the game was dull. The umpiring was crap. There wasn't anything scintillating coming out of that other than Buddy probably was about to kick a bag full, and then all of a sudden he stopped at quarter time. Let's move on, and let's get into the next game, and pleasure and pain.
You want to feel a little warmth, a little mercy. You wanna feel like this is real, but it's so cold this time of year, and everywhere you like to go is a reminder.
Now, remember this at the very beginning of the season, which started the campaign off for this particular program.
It's a good kick, normally uses the ball well again. Schoenmakers gets it from Mitchell. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Here comes Bunny. Wheels around. Gathers the football. He's kicked a miracle. He's put it through with the outside of the boot running to the wrong pocket.
Oh, can you believe that? 2 kicks from goal. Next goal wins, you'd reckon. Cloak bangs it. Schoenmakers drops it. Dawes gets it back. Still in dispute. That ball not coming out.
Offside on it.
Oh, Schoenmakers.
Oh, poor kid.
Oh, the nerves would be jangling. They're jangling in the stands and they're jangling out on the field. Usually the players are the least nervous of anyone in the stadium.
Well, now it's showing. He was so cool earlier. The stakes so high. Ball throws it on the boots. And like Swan before him, he's kicked a magnificent goal out of that pocket. Inside the last minute. Michael Malthouse still could be coaching his last game. Who knows? At least for the Magpies. Swan has other ideas. Lewis brilliant. Rioli's got the footy. Rioli run down from behind, holding the ball. And Collingwood, I think, from here, can run down the clock. Oh,
he just had no one forward, Rioli, so he had to try and hold on to wait to see if someone released. But that's what Thomas does so well, the chase down tackle from behind. Remember his tackle on Whitecross earlier in this match where he created a goal at the other end. So Collingwood, who haven't defended a premiership for 75 years. It's been 75 years since they won a flag and then went into the grand final the next year.
16 contested possessions for Dale Thomas out of his 20. 9 tackles.
It's the best match of 2011 so far, and Collingwood win.
So, Bards, is that going to happen again?
I don't know, mate. What do you reckon?
Well, here's a cut from Wetters on the weekend, because I'm there barracking away for Essendon, rather play West Coast again, and this is what he reckoned.
Travis Cloak's carving up Essendon. It's not a good sign for us.
I'm not that bothered. It's not hard to carve up Essendon.
All right, so he's pretty confident. I'm not so sure.
Obviously, there's a bit of a worry that they're a decent side, and they've played in a few grand finals, and they made trouble. So West Coast would probably be a better game for them, being that we saw him last week. But mate, we took this side on in round 17, I think it was. We had Hodgie on the pine, or not playing. Franklin was having a sore hamstring. We smashed them, mate. We were 10 goals up. We probably should have won by 12. In the last quarter, we thought Dave Beam's going to kick a couple more if he wants them. We'll just let him do what they want. We've got these blokes covered. Play our footy on our terms, we've got them covered. So take it. Hopefully they bring Dawes back in. That'll suit us. They probably have to. They can't have Maxwell running around the ruck, but I think we're good enough to beat this side. We need to beat all the good sides to win the grand final. This is our chance to get rid of them, and we'll go on from there.
So 2 factors here. 1, the weather. The weather out there, as we know right now, and we're recording on Wednesday, is pretty crappy. It's taking a turn for the worst, and it was very windy on Friday. If it's windy like that, that will disrupt our game, surely.
Doesn't help with our kicking game, but I think that we might find this wind sort of blows itself out a bit by then. It won't be like it was today, obviously. Can't be that much wind in the world. Yeah, look, we are a better side in perfect conditions the way we use the ball. But having said that, good skills come to the fore when the conditions aren't great as well. So maybe it needs a little bit of a tweak in the game plan. Maybe not quite so many pinpoint risky kicks where the wind can affect them, but being able to use the ball well into the wind as well, or against it, is a factor. And our blokes are highly skilled, so I'd back them in even in those conditions.
Now, who covers Goo?
Mate, this is $1 million question, and to be honest, Goo, as a single player, can't be covered by a single player. We've got blokes that could come into the side that can probably do as good a job as a pure defensive player. Murphy or Cheney maybe. Cheney can probably cover Goo's hardness. Murphy can probably cover the job of actually locking down a player, but neither of them can use the ball as well as Goo. We can bring Alice in, who probably uses the ball pretty close to as well as Goo, but isn't that lockdown player or the hard nut that Goo is. So very hard to cover by himself, but I think his best replacement's probably already within the team, and whoever comes in I think will probably just fit onto the sub bench. Cyril goes onto the ground. A combination of Hodge or Burgoyne probably push back, add into the rotation with Suckling, because you've got to remember, Goo's off the ground at times as well in the rotation. So our back six is probably a back eight. We're probably down to having 7 now, but we throw Hodge in or Burgoyne in there for the whole game instead of in parts, and hopefully we can cover it. It's a loss, but I think we've got enough talent to cover it.
And it was good to see Goo got his medal back.
That was great. Street sweepers found it randomly on the street. Hopefully just someone decided they had to get rid of it because they were going to do themselves harm if someone found out they had it. But he's got it back, which is great, especially seeing the hamstring the way it looks. I don't think he'll be getting another one this year. So very nice for him to have the original.
Players to watch, Bards.
Mate, first final, 2007, Franklin kicked 7. We beat Adelaide. First final, 2008, Franklin kicks 8. We smashed the Bulldogs. First final this year, I'm going with Franklin. It wasn't so good last year against Geelong or the year before, but I reckon he's back. He's firing up. He's shown burst. He's had 2 big quarters for us since he's been back and helped us win games. I reckon he's the bloke to watch this week. I know it's an easy option picking Franklin, but I think he's ready to explode on him.
All right, Bard, winning margin.
Actually, I haven't put a lot of thought into this, mate, but I'm going to come up with one on the spot. I'm going to say we'll win this by 6 goals.
All right, I'm going for 25 points.
Same as last week's win the margin grab.
Might be a better quality game, Bards.
I think it should be a better quality game. And I think the key, mate, as I said last time we played Collingwood, and it's exactly what we did, was we made their defenders accountable. I think Lewis kicked 5 goals, Bruce had a few. So Collingwood love one thing, and that's to zone off and let blokes like Maxwell, O'Brien and Shaw just sweep around the back, pick up the loose ball, run it out, try to look $1 million and be clever that way. Last time we made them accountable, that didn't work. We have to do that again. Shouldn't be too hard, as long as we do the eyes and have a look and find the other options, not just go to Franklin. But what that does, because they'll be wary of those blokes being accountable, is that they won't be able to just sit the extra one in front of Franklin, and that'll give Franklin a chance one-on-one with Tarrant or whoever he gets to explode into the game. So half forwards be an option, and I reckon that helps us win the game big time.
And Gunston will play?
I think so, mate. I think they're pretty precautionary. He did that injury, got the knock, and he come back onto the ground and kicked that goal from 50-odd, and then he got subbed off. So I think they've just decided it was time to get Rioli into it. He's had a knock. We'll just let him rest up, but I think he'll be right.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my player to watch to be David Hale.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you like that pass from Franklin to Hale in the goal square?
Is that the one he marked off his nose? Triple M or SEM, one of them mentioned that he marked it off the rug. It was a lovely pass and it was a great mark. He really is our best pack mark, Hale. Yeah, again, being an option is important. Jolly, we know, likes to push forward. They've got nothing else in the ruck other than Jolly. Even if they bring Dawes in, that's a godsend for us. He's no good. Big chance for our ruckman, Hale and Ruffy to sort of take control there. So yeah, David hopefully has a big game.
And it's amazing they won't play Wood in the same side.
No, it's the death of 2 true ruckmen, isn't it? Even though Jolly can be handy up forward, don't want Wood in there if Jolly's there. So yes, I think they'll be looking for an option in the off-season, Collingwood.
You would have thought a bloke that's got Wood in his name at Collingwood would get a game.
Is that all it takes?
Clearly something wrong at that club.
Keep him away from Alex Woodward then.
All right, now, one other short blast, maybe, was the 40 squad All-Australian team thingy. One omission.
Yes, mate. I thought Josh Gibson was probably a bit stiff for the second year in a row, to be honest there. He's had a great year down back. I think you'd find most clubs would take him ahead of Tom Lonergan or Dempster, really. Apparently Dempster's had an alright year, but yeah, I don't see it, mate. He's a bit stiff, Gibbo. On the other end, Rioli's probably a little bit lucky to get in. He's had an alright year, but I don't think he'll make the final side. But very interesting. And from a non-Hawthorn point of view, I thought Matthew Boyd probably a bit stiff not to be in the best 40 players in the comp as well.
Yeah, agree with that as well. All right, so we're on to winners and why.
I get to use more than one word.
All right, Pard, so we don't need to do the first game. We've already selected Hawthorn and our margin, and it goes without saying why. So Saturday afternoon, somewhere over there in the west, not Wild West, but, Midwest, they're playing a game between Adelaide and Sydney. The easy game.
Easy game.
So the winner, and why?
I'm going to go with Adelaide based on the fact that they're running around at home. I think Sydney's a better side, but I think they've got a few issues at Sydney, and I reckon Adelaide will get them.
I'm going for Sydney because they just step up during the finals.
Very cool.
So Saturday night, you would have thought the Eagles were going to get a game, but apparently when you go and book the Bledisloe Cup at Patterson Stadium, the AFL are very unforgiving. So they're not playing Saturday night.
Indeed, they're not. And we'll have Geelong and the Fremantle Dockers at the MCG on a Saturday night. Should have a big crowd in of about 45,000, I'd expect. And for me, mate, Geelong will win this with fairly comfortably. I think Freo are a good side. They've played some good footy in the last 10 weeks. But in Melbourne, MCG, finals footy, Geelong knows what it's about, and they'll take care of Pavlich and his boys.
But you reckon the crowd will be 40,000? I reckon the crowd could be 90,000 because there could be 50,000 of us there barracking for a Freo.
That'd be the only way, mate. That'd be the only way there'd be more than 50,000 there. And yes, I hope Freo wins.
Right, so I'm going for Freo, but Geelong will win.
Fair enough.
And then that leaves the game that's going to be played on a dung heap that will be churned up by all the rugby players. West Coast versus North Melbourne on Sunday at Patterson Stadium.
What a big game this will be, mate. We'll have one of those lovely examples on TV where you get to see the other code's lines on the ground while you're playing an AFL game. They'll probably paint them out with green paint that's about 4 shades darker than the green grass. So we'll see what they are. West Coast, mate, they were all right last week against us. They're a decent side. North played some very good footy, but the trip over there and to ask them to win over there in front of what I'd imagine to be 40,000 West Coast supporters, 4 Western Australian umpires and 4 goal umpires and everything else that goes along with it. I think that West Coast will take care of North and we will not see North after that.
Yeah, agreed. That's a West Coast win. They got that dude that runs around with the 70s shag on the boundary over there. You seen him?
No, I haven't seen him.
Look out for him.
I saw something interesting in the week, a map of Subiaco for the finals ticketing. You know, you have platinum and premium and all this stuff. It was like just about the whole ground except for the Cheers Squad bays is all premium. The whole lot, $75. There's no cheap seats at Subiaco. Level 3, premium. You know why? Because they'll sell them.
Fair enough. Well, that's the mining boom over there. So better take the money while it's still booming and it doesn't fall over.
That's it.
All right, Bards. Well, I'll see you on Friday night.
I will see you there, mate, with bowels on.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.